we see something moving on the hill above. It's kind of looking at us.
On August 18th, 2023, Daniel decided to do a short bivvy camping trip in the forest near his home. Just a quiet evening to relax after spending so much time working on YouTube. The trip in the nearby woods started off completely normal until Daniel stepped past an old fence. From that moment on, the atmosphere in the forest seemed to change, and the first quiet signs that something wasn't right began to appear. Trash scattered along the trail, and fresh footprints suggested someone had been there recently, though it wasn't clear who or why.
Someone's been here. There's a lot of rubbish around here. Yeah, look at the state of this. It does get used, doesn't it? What a mess. Even over here, this is worse. We'll get out of here and back on track that I came to be on.
Daniel left the familiar trail, walked into a small clearing in the forest, and decided that would be the place to set up for the night, a decision he would soon regret.
And rain camping is really good. Is that a badger? Hello?
Trying to stay calm, Daniel sat down with a cup of coffee and continued eating noodles as the sky slowly grew darker. But things only became more unsettling as the sun disappeared. The footsteps returned. This time they were steady and closer, as if something was moving around his camp.
There's that noise again now. Hello? Hello? You got to better hear that. There's nobody here. And it sounds like someone's just walking around. I can handle it, won't. Can you hear it?
By that point, most people probably would have left immediately. But Daniel stayed seated, finishing his dinner while trying to convince himself everything was fine. Then, once darkness completely settled over the forest, those chilling footsteps came back again. This time, Daniel didn't hesitate. He packed up his gear and left the woods in the middle of the night. No one knows exactly what it was, but in a dark forest, when you hear footsteps and no one is there, sometimes the safest choice is simply to leave. This video was filmed in Marble Mountain, California, a remote forest long connected to stories about Bigfoot. At first, the exploration group simply noticed something unusual in the woods. Broken branches snapped with force, and piles of leaves and sticks arranged into what looked like a shelter, almost as if something very large had been living there.
A little bit of snow, some piled logs, but as we wander up, as we wander up into the trees a little bit, we notice that there's a pile of a brush here. And as we look inside, we find out that something.
Brad's getting eaten alive.
Brad, let me climb out for a minute. Let me get a look into this thing.
Oh.
Let me walk around it a little bit. First of all, some kind of creature has taken and piled tons and tons of leaves and branches. to either camouflage or make a place to hide. We notice claw marks as we look at the trees and stuff. Then we come around, we spin in here, and we see how whatever it is has been all smoothed out.
But what truly stopped them in their tracks happened just a few minutes later. On the hillside above their camp, they spotted a large figure moving between the trees. When the camera zoomed in closer, they began to see its shape more clearly. A tall body, unusually long arms that almost reached down to the knees. If it was a person, the body proportions didn't look normal. The arms were too long, and the way it moved looked heavy and unnatural. The creature seemed to realize it was being watched. It stopped, then raised its arms and shouted toward them, almost like it was warning them to leave the area.
We see down here a fire pit, but we see no evidence that there was ever a fire.
He's walking down.
Oh my word.
Bigfoot's walking down right now.
Huh?
See, he's standing taller. Uh-oh! I get back to camp.
We see something moving on the hill above. It's kind of looking at us.
I don't see it.
Moving now.
The trees? It's to the right of him. He's walking that way.
What trees?
Trees? Okay. See that King's Castle?
Yeah. He's that
Down that
kind of
hill.
little skinny thing.
That little thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. On the right side of the tree.
Kind of small, but this is a far way away.
I don't see nothing. Seriously.
On the ridge.
Past him, I would think. There he is. See him right between the two trees right now? Yeah. See?
Oh yeah, he's walking down.
See, he's between the two trees right now.
Yeah.
Where? Dang it! He must
Two
have.
trees to the left of King's Castle.
Yeah.
See King's Castle?
Yeah.
He's shaking his fist at us.
He's right in between the two trees right now. The
He's
two trees.
screaming at us something. Get out of my
Probably looking
camp.
at us as
Get
much
out
as
of
we're
my
looking at him.
camp.
He's probably saying, hey, there's 15 Bigfoots down there.
He's coming. Is he coming down?
He's
like
jumping up and down. He's going back and forth. He is furious. He knows we're in
that?
in
He's
his.
acting kind of strange.
Now he's almost in the tree.
Where's John?
I should go over to the left of
There he is.
That
Doesn't
is.
look like a person.
It does not look like a
Doesn't
person.
look like a person.
Its arms are way too big. Look at how long the hands hang down to the.
How can you
Oh,
see
yeah,
from?
they're down to his knees at least, aren't they?
Look what I'm looking at. Can't find him now.
Now when the guy comes walking down and says hi, you're gonna erase all of that. I hope.
This is.
Why?
Because it's not very.
Probably about an hour. Gets dark around 9. I say we bag him.
Huh?
We could probably get some pretty good money. Just tranquilize the sucker.
Just photos are all we need.
It's not very good proof though. If you actually show up with him sleeping in a cage, that's proof for you. John's got the 22.
We're definitely not going to shoot him.
No, tranquilize him. You can. John's a smart guy. He can figure out a way to use that gun to.
The next morning, they returned to the same spot, but the creature was gone. No sign of it. Yet one question still remains. What was the figure they saw on that hillside that day? Was it really Bigfoot? For Lucas, duck hunting had always meant quiet mornings by the water, unhurried, silent, with nothing but cold mist and a slowing breath. But the morning of November 20th, 2020 turned that calm into a memory that would haunt him for the rest of his life. He went out before dawn, arrived at a large lake, set up his gear, and waited. When a flock of ducks flew in, Lucas shot one and stepped forward to retrieve it. And in that very moment, his life suddenly slipped into danger.
Got one.
Unfamiliar with the lake's terrain, Lucas lost his footing on a concealed drop-off and struggled to stay afloat. His waders quickly filled with water, dragging him down like dead weight. There was no boat, no one nearby. The cold tightened its grip on his muscles, making every movement slower and heavier.
Got her. Had to swim a little bit to get her.
Fortunately, with the last of his strength, he managed to grab onto a rocky edge and pull himself back onto shore. Shivering and severely chilled, Lucas then made the decision to pack up and leave. The risk of hypothermia had already begun. Hunting alone can turn deadly in an instant. But thanks to his composure and timely reaction, Lucas survived and made it home alive. On January 1st, 2026, the creator behind the YouTube channel Shadow Hollow decided to return to a forest he had avoided for quite some time. He stepped back onto the same overgrown trails that had appeared in many of his earlier videos. At first, everything seemed completely normal, just a quiet walk through the woods. But he had no idea that this return would become an experience he would later regret. Among the dense trees, he suddenly noticed a figure ahead of him, barely visible between the trunks. At first, he assumed it was just another hiker. But then something started to feel wrong. No matter which direction he turned, the figure somehow kept appearing somewhere ahead of him. The uneasy feeling quickly turned into panic, and while trying to avoid the stranger, he began losing his sense of direction. The forest didn't feel the same as it had on his previous visits. His only option at that point was to turn back toward the direction where he had last seen the man. But moments later, the figure appeared again, almost as if the man always knew exactly where he was.
It's too dark for that. It's gonna start getting really dark. Really soon. You just stay away from there. Just go this way. That's exactly what I'm gonna do. The noises keep coming from over there. This terrain is horrible.
The situation escalated when the man started moving toward him in an aggressive way. With no other option, Shadow Hollow ran.
Oh, what the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? Oh, shit! I'm gonna call the police. Shit. Road.
Eventually, he managed to escape by squeezing through a barbed wire fence and getting out of the woods. But the experience left a lasting feeling he couldn't shake. Because in places like that, the forest doesn't care about your plans. If you get lost, if something goes wrong, no one will hear you. After the unsettling encounter, he returned to the trailhead with far more questions than answers. Who was that man? And why was he out there in the middle of the deep forest? Even now, no one truly knows. On February 1st, 2023, James, the YouTuber behind the channel Under the Weather, uploaded a video of himself camping alone in a forest locals call Devil's Wood. Normally, James is calm and rarely lets fear get to him. But that night, in that forest, that calm seemed to disappear. At first, everything looked completely normal. James set up his tent beside a small creek deep in the damp woods. The location seemed fine, but the feeling wasn't. The place was completely cut off from any nearby homes and strangely quiet, except for the constant sound of water flowing nearby.
Hello, welcome back to Under the Weather, live from the Devil's Wood. Now I'm losing daylight and I'm in a very precarious place, so I need to try and get some wood, and for a fire, but as you can see there's a lot of wetness around. I'm camped right next to a river. Tent's already up because, as I said, losing daylight. Let's show you the wee tent here. Now this is the most precarious place I've ever put a tent in my life. So let's just see, turn this round. The only flat bit of ground is like this little strip here, which runs along this riverbed right in the middle of the Devil's Wood. Let's see if we can get some lights on the go. Yeah, I mean if you look up, still daylight outside, but door, toilet. Let's hope there's no floods. Right, let's see if we can get some fire going.
While cooking dinner, a strange sound suddenly broke the silence. James tried to ignore it and kept eating like nothing had happened.
Okay, I will see if that helps.
When he started getting ready for bed, he realized he might have made a mistake.
What the hell? Hang on, turn this. Anyway, just turn this. Hello, is there? Anybody there? Hello? 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 Oof.
Between two trees in front of him, a figure dressed in red was standing silently in the darkness, staring straight toward his camp. Even though he was clearly shaken, James stepped out of the tent to check. Fortunately, whatever it was never appeared again.
What's that? Right. I'm gonna go have a look. Hello? this again. I don't think I like the look of that thing, whatever that was. God save me. Right, let's see if we can get across the river without falling in. Oh, good.
But after returning to camp, he could barely sleep for the rest of the night. The next morning, James quickly packed up and left Devil's Wood. But the image of that person in red, standing in the dark forest, stayed with him long after the trip ended. Was it just another hiker passing through? Or something else wandering in those woods? Trent is a van lifer who travels across North America, searching for abandoned places, the kind of locations people say are best avoided after dark. This time, he drove into a mountain road in Colorado known by a strange name, Phantom Canyon Road, a place tied to old railroad accidents, violent stories from the gold mining era, and local legends about shadowy figures still wandering through the forest at night. And that solo camping trip would become one of the most unforgettable experiences Trent ever had on that road. Night falls quickly in the Colorado mountains. The narrow dirt road twists between steep cliffs. One small mistake, and a vehicle could fall hundreds of feet into the canyon below.
Okay, it is officially nighttime, and I hate driving at night, specifically on windy, remote dirt roads in the middle of the night. And this road in particular has a lot of cliff edges, and if I'm not paying attention or I can't see well, I could easily just drive off the side of this road and fall and tumble for hundreds of feet down the mountain. And that is the last thing I want from this adventure.
But that night, the road wasn't what worried Trent the most. Eventually, he found a small campsite beside a creek deep in the canyon. As the campfire flickered in the dark forest, Trent began talking about the old stories connected to this place.
I thought I heard something moving over here. Freak, I'm on edge. Of course I am. I'm in a haunted forest, for crying out loud. Okay, before I freak myself out too much, I am going to put out this fire and go explore a little bit, walk along this road, and see if we find or experience anything interesting, because there's a lot more to this area than just this campsite. So.
Then he heard something, a sound that immediately pulled his attention away from the fire. The forest around him no longer felt quiet. The darkness seemed deeper somehow. He carefully walked around the campsite, never going too far, fully aware of how vulnerable he was out there. That's when he discovered a path leading to an old tunnel, long, cold, and dark enough to swallow the light.
Wait. Oh, that's right. Oh. I don't know if you guys can see this, but I forgot that this road has tunnel. Wow. This is both incredibly creepy and beautiful at the same time. It's so weird to just like stumble upon too. Like when I was doing my research on this road, I knew that the tunnels were here, but on my way in, I didn't see any. So I just assumed they were no longer in use or something. I guess that's because I came from the north side of the road rather than the south. But this is wild. Like they're massive, dude.
Curiosity pulled him closer, and Trent slowly stepped inside. In that space, everything seemed amplified. The silence, the echoes, and the feeling that someone might be watching.
Wow. This is wild. It's so big. Man, I am getting the heebie-jeebies from this. And maybe that's because my mind is on the topic of skinwalkers. But that's my own doing.
Suddenly, he began hearing faint sounds, almost like singing. When he stepped back outside, he realized it was just other campers somewhere nearby. But strangely, that didn't make him feel any better. Being alone in a forest rumored to be haunted is already unsettling. Knowing that strangers are somewhere out there in the darkness can sometimes feel even worse. Back inside his van, he tried to relax, but the night wasn't over yet. A noise came from outside. Trent looked out. Nothing. No one. Just his imagination. An animal? Or something else?
But I just heard a thud outside. I just turned on my light outside my sliding door. I don't see anything out the windows. It sounded like something hit my van. I'm like shaking right now. I literally have no idea what that noise could have been. It sounded like something bumping into my van.
That night, Trent barely slept, with the lingering feeling that something in the forest had been watching him the entire time. The next morning, he left Phantom Canyon Road, but one question stayed behind. Is the place truly haunted, or is it just the darkness and the human mind playing tricks? What do you think? On the YouTube channel, The Chrome Project, Chrome often documents his life living alone in a van, driving to some of the most remote forests in Canada. Places where, for dozens of kilometers around, there's almost no sign of other people. In this video, Chrome takes his adorable bulldog camping in the mountains of British Columbia. But that night turns out to be far less peaceful than he expected. Night falls, and that's when things start to feel unsettling. Strange sounds echo through the forest, making the atmosphere tense and uneasy.
What is that noise? It's moving, whatever it is. What the hell is that?
Fortunately, nothing actually happens that night. The next morning, they wake up to a completely different scene. Sunlight shining over the mountains, and the forest feeling calm and peaceful again. Even so, Chrome packs up his gear and decides to leave the area. So what do you think those sounds really were? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. The YouTube channel Journeyman's Hidden Realms focuses on exploring places rumored to be haunted. After years of investigating paranormal activity, he's used to the darkness, strange sounds, and that unsettling feeling of being watched. But what happened one night in October 2022 when he stepped into Daring Woods, often called the Screaming Woods, or the Forest of the Dead, still gave him chills.
Welcome back to my channel this week. This week I thought we'd do a visit to the most haunted woods in England, named Daring Woods. We're about 1.5 miles away from Pluckley, and obviously I would imagine most people have heard of Pluckley, which is reputably the most haunted village in the UK. But in any case, there's been many deaths here over the years, a lot of sightings of shadow figures and strange sounds emanating from the woods themselves. So I hope you enjoy today's explore.
He entered the woods around 2 a.m, carrying only a few basic ghost hunting tools. The plan was simple: walk deeper into the forest, call out into the darkness, and see if anything answered back. But almost immediately after stepping in, something felt very wrong.
Okay, I have a little communication device in my hand, and I would appreciate if somebody could maybe approach me and talk into this box. Could you do that, please? Can I ask that you come forward, please, with the greatest respect? Come and talk into this little box in my hand. Adam. Please come and tell me your name. I see a shadow figure down in the woods. Can I ask the name of that shadow person, please?
While investigating strange noises cutting through the night, he slowly swept his night vision camera across the trees and suddenly froze. A dark, human-shaped figure was standing motionless between the trunks. Not a blurry shadow or camera glitch, a clear silhouette that vanished the moment he shifted the camera.
Please come. I'm sure there was a shadow figure down there then. Please let me know if you see anything. I'll have a look during editing. There seems to be something there. There's a person there. Is it my eyes? Can you see it? Who are you? Who are you, please? Can you see that?
And then things became even stranger. The spirit box started producing names. Amelia, Bobby, Robinson. The names came through the darkness, one after another, as if someone was trying to respond from somewhere deeper in the woods. After more than an hour inside the forest, he hurried back out with more questions than when he arrived. Because Daring Woods has long been known not only for ghost stories, but also for murders and mysterious deaths that have reportedly happened there over the years. And among those dark trees that night, what exactly was the shadow he saw?